Hey everyone, today we're going to talk about how to take a crocheted circle and transform it into a diamond shape. So what I've done here is I've taken a crocheted flat circle and after 2 rounds I've transformed it into a diamond shape. Now I've made quite a large diamond shape because I'm using this as part of a motif for a blanket. So I'm making several of these. Sorry guys, let me just see if I can get that all in the shot here. So not as common as the granny square, but just as much fun and really pretty to make. So let's get started. I used 4 different colors in my diamond. You can just make it 2 colors, you can make it 1 color. But I am going to show you how I did that particular one. So I'm going to apologize for the dark yarn right now. This is the Bernat Satin Sparkle. It's really pretty with this little sparkle tinsel going through it. So I'm just going to use this as part of the center, and I'll do my best to go nice and slow so you can see. So we're making the 2 round circle to start off with. So we're going to create a magic ring, which is basically just a very loose slip knot. I'll insert my hook and pull through and then chain 1. Yeah, see, it's very wonky at the beginning. Then I'll chain 1 to secure that ring. And it just so happens my hook size is the same color as my yarn. Now this is a medium size 4 weighted yarn, and for this particular project I am using a size 5mm hook. You can do this with any type of yarn you wish. So after I've chained 1 to secure, I will chain 2 more, and that's because I'm going to be using double crochets to create this circle. So what we're going to do is we're going to double crochet 11 times into the ring here. And I'm doing it 11 times because the first chain 3 counts as 1. This will give us a total of 12 double crochets into our circle. So go ahead and continue to double crochet 12 times into the circle. And if you're a little bit rusty, if you're a little bit newer and you're rusty on your double crochet stitches, there will be a link in the description box below just as a little refresher on how to create your double crochet. So remember, you're going to yarn over, you'll insert your hook into the circle, yarn over to pull through, you'll have 3 loops on your hook, then you'll yarn over again, you'll pull through the first 2 loops, yarn over once more, and pull through the last 2 loops. So there you have it, and again you can check out that link as a refresher. So I will meet you back around here once you've done a total of 12 stitches into the center of your ring. Once you've created your 12th stitch, we need to close off this round. So I've cinched this center of the circle here, and we'll also put a link in the description box below as a refresher on how to create the crochet circle in case this is a bit fast for you. So I've crocheted 12 double crochets into the center, and then I took my little tail and I just cinched it shut. So that's what gives you that nice tight center. I will now find the 3rd chain, the top of the chain 3, and I'm just going to insert my hook and slip stitch the round shut. So there you go. Okay, so that's the center. We need to do 1 more round of our circle. So we're going to increase by another 12 double crochets. So in round 2, we do 2 double crochets into each and every single stitch to give us a total of 24 stitches. So we begin round 2 by chaining 3 to give us the height of a double crochet. And remember, this counts as 1 double crochet already. So what we're going to do is, since we're doing 2 into the base of each stitch, we're going to go back into the base of this chain 3, which is right here, and we were going to do a double crochet So this will count as 2 stitches into one of the previous round. So if I go into the next stitch, which is actually right there, okay, I know sometimes it's hard to see because it looks like it's attached here. I am going to insert my hook into the top of that stitch, and I am going to stitch up 1 double crochet, and then I'm going to go back into the same stitch and double crochet a second one. Okay, so if I just pull that apart a little bit here, see, you can see there's 2 in this stitch and 2 in that stitch. So we're going to do that all the way around, and you should have a total of 24 stitches. Remember, it's very important to always count your stitches at the end of every row or round of your project. Consistency is key. So go ahead and I will meet you at the end of round 2. And here we are coming up to the end of round 2. So I've got 1 stitch left. I need to do 2 into that stitch, 2 double crochets. So there's 1 and there's 2. And I've gone back and counted, and I know I have 24 stitches all the way around. So I'm going to find the top of my chain 3, which is right there. I'm going to slip stitch, and that is it for the center here. Okay, so that's the center of our diamond, and I'm just going to snip off my yarn, and we're going to begin creating the diamond shape around. So I'm not going to worry too much about my end at the moment. I'm going to actually work it in as I go around, but I will just cut it a bit shorter. Okay, so a couple of things to keep in mind when we are changing shapes. There is some math involved here. So remember, we have 24 stitches. In order to create a diamond shape, we want to keep in mind that there are 4 points or 4 corners, just like a granny square. So we want to make sure that as we increase and change our shape, that this happens evenly around the circle. So with 24 stitches, if we divide that by 4, that means in every 6th stitch, we are going to do an increase or a corner stitch of some kind. So 24 divided by 4 gives us 6. Okay, so I'm just going to show you a little rough mock-up that I made here. Just kind of drew this out. Sorry about my artistry or lack thereof, but I think you'll get, where's my pen here? I think you'll get the general gist of this. So in the center, this is our 24 stitch circle. So I've divided it first into 4. So we know that we have 4 points to this diamond shape. At the top and at the bottom, sorry, let me back up. So in each corner, we're going to have to do an increase. So we're adding an extra stitch or several stitches, and I'll explain that in a second, to each corner. At the top and at the bottom, we are going to increase using triple crochet stitches. Now, many times in the corner, you would, for example, in a granny square, you're going to double crochet, chain 2, double crochet. Some people do a chain 1, some people do a chain 3. The point is that we are doing 2 stitches and we're separating it with some kind of a chain. Here, because we want to elongate the top and the bottom part of our shape, we need a longer stitch. So we are using a triple crochet stitch, which makes this a little bit longer. And then we will chain 3 and do another triple crochet stitch into the same stitch. Okay, so that would create a longer corner here. Moving along, we're going to do 2 more triple crochets, and then we're going to decrease in size here. We're going to go down to a double crochet. So for the next 3 stitches, we would do 1 double crochet into each stitch around. So what starts happening is it starts to kind of angle downward, unlike a granny square where we would keep them all even. So here you can see that I did the triple crochet. There's 3 chains here, another triple crochet. I continue to do 2 more triples, and next I did doubles. So that started to kind of slope this downwards to create more of a diamond instead of a square, okay? Once we get to our side corners, we are going to do another increase to create a corner, but we're only going to use the double crochet stitches. So sorry, this is my shorthand here with the DC. So here when I increase, I do 1 double crochet, I chain 1, and then another double crochet. Now, some people will chain 2 here, and in the next rows after this first row, I do. But I've seen it done where people tend to chain 1 in the beginning just to keep the nice snug shape of the diamond. And we'll talk about round 2 of the diamond shape. But this is the first and most important to establish the shape. So this is how I do it. Double crochet, chain 1, double crochet. Now I'm coming down the side, so I need to start increasing again. So I will proceed to do another 3 double crochets, double crochet, double crochet, double crochet, that's 3. The next 2 will be 2 triples, and the third triple will be into my increase. So remember, we have 24 stitches, so each side has 6 stitches that we're working into. So, sorry, let me back up here. Stitch number 1, we created an increase right away. Number 2 and number 3, we did triple crochets. So technically it's 3 triples and 3 doubles, okay? Because we don't count this corner because that's the beginning of a new side. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 stitches in the first side, okay? Hopefully this is not, hopefully I'm not going too fast and confusing you. I'm going to go over this again. I'm going to go slowly. Okay, so this is the first of the next side. So starting with the corner, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, this corner is now the start of the next side. So then this would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so we have 6 times 4 gives us 24 stitches. So coming down here, we want to start increasing. So we do 3 double crochets, and then we do a triple, a triple. Our third triple starts the next corner. So remember, it's a triple crochet, chain 3, triple crochet into the same stitch. Now we proceed to do 2 more triples. So that would be stitch 1, 2, 3. We do 3 more double crochets, 1, 2, 3, and that's our next 6 stitches occupied. Coming up to our last corner, that is the beginning of the 4th side. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 stitches that need to be worked into. This first stitch will be the side corner of our diamond, so we have to do an increase here. We will place 1 double, chain 1, 1 double crochet. Then we do 3 double crochets coming out of it and 2 more triple crochets to meet up at the top of our diamond. Okay, so what happened here is because we've now increased in each corner, that means we've added an extra stitch, we actually will have a total of 24 plus 4 stitches, 4 extra stitches. So 24 plus 4 in the corner will give us 28. Now, I know what you're thinking, but what about our chain 3s and chain 1s? Technically, you could count them as stitches, but because they're meant to be more spacers, we're not going to worry about that. And as you see the rows progress, you're going to see how this is going to transform. So hopefully this shape, this diagram kind of at least gives you a picture. I am going to explain it as I go along in the actual diamond shape. Okay? I know, it's a lot to process. So if I pick up my circle, now what I want to do is I want to change colors just to kind of give this some little pop here. So I'm going to go back to my light pink that I've been using. And I'm going to start with a slip knot. And I'm just going to insert it into any top of the stitches here. I like to just start just a little bit off from the fastening off point. So I'm going to slip stitch to secure, and I'm just going to work over these tails here. So we are going to start right away to create our first corner, our first top corner. So that is this corner right here, also seen right here, right from our circle. So what we're going to do, because we're going to do a triple crochet, we're going to chain 4 to give us the height. So we have 1, 2, 3, and 4. But now we also need to create the spacer. So we need an additional chain 3. 1, 2, 3. And if you're a little bit confused, the chain 3 is this spacer along the top of our corner here. Okay? And now what we're going to do is we're going to triple crochet into the base of this same stitch because we're starting right away in the corner. In order to triple crochet, we are going to wrap the yarn around our hook 2 times. So that gives you 3 loops on the hook right away. Okay, we are then going to insert back into the base of that same stitch, yarn over and pull through. So now we have 4 loops on our hook. We will yarn over, pull through the first 2, yarn over, pull through the next 2, yarn over, and pull through the last 2. So we've pulled through 2 loops 3 times. Ay, ay, ay. Hope that doesn't confuse you. So that's why we call it a triple crochet. Okay, so there you have it. So you have your triple crochet, your chain 3, and then this chain 4 counts as a triple. So see, it's taking its shape properly. Now what I want to do is in the next 2 stitches, I want to do another triple crochet in each of those 2. So remember, you yarn over twice, and we're going to find the top of our next stitch. So remember that it is sitting right here where we fastened off there, or we slip stitched, I should say. So, whoops, I guess I missed that. So we're going to try that again, and we're going to pull through. And again, I'm just working over these tails here, so just ignore that. 4 loops on the hook, pull through 2, pull through 2, and pull through the last 2. So now I have 2 triple crochets sitting next to each other. I need to do 1 more into the next stitch. Yarn over twice. Now the top of the next stitch, so the next double crochet is right here. So the top of that stitch is sitting right there. Okay. Keep my short tails down. Yarn over, pull through. Yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through the last 2. So we're pulling through 2 3 times. We now have our 3 double crochet. We now have our 3 triple crochets. In the next 3 stitches, we want to do 3 double crochets. Okay, so we yarn over once only into the next stitch. We'll work a double crochet. Okay, another double crochet into the next stitch. And another double crochet into the next stitch. And there we have, whoops, here we have our first side of the diamond. Okay, so we've created this, we'll call it this top left angle of the diamond shape. You're thinking, well, it doesn't really look like much yet, but just hang in there. So now if I count my stitches, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that side is done. I know in my next stitch, I have to do a corner. So now we're going to do the side corner here, okay? So into this next stitch, I'm going to do an increase, but a smaller increase than I did at the top. So I'm going to do a double crochet into that next stitch. Oh, just move my tail out of the way there. Double crochet. Now I'm going to chain 1 to create a spacer, and I'm going to double crochet one more time into that same stitch. Now again, some people will use 2 chains here. I've opted to only chain 1 in this first row only, just to give it a tighter look. Okay, so I really want to differentiate between my top corner and my side corner. So this is the first of the next 6 stitches we're going to work into. So because we are now increasing again, we're going to do 3 double crochets coming out of this corner. So into the next stitch, I'm going to work a double crochet. That's 1. Into the next stitch, I have a double crochet for the second one. And I have 1 more double crochet into that next stitch, and I've just worked over my short tails there. So now you can really see how it's starting to shape and form that side corner. See how it's smaller, a little tighter than the top. Okay, now I need to start increasing because we're going back up to the next tall corner. So now I'm going to triple crochet, yarn over twice, insert into the next stitch, pull through, yarn over. We're going to pull through the first 2, we'll yarn over and pull through the next 2, we'll yarn over and pull through the final 2. So now you can see, hopefully, that the stitches are starting to increase in height again. So we need to do 1 more triple, yarn over twice, insert into the next stitch, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over and pull through the next 2. Wow, now you can really see that it's starting to slant up. Just love that. Okay, so we've done 1, we worked into the first stitch, which is the corner, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're done side 2. So we know now that we're starting the next corner here, which is a tall corner. So we are going to do an increase with the triple crochet stitch into the next stitch right there. So we'll yarn over twice, insert, pull through, yarn over, pull through the first 2, second 2 loops, and the final 2 loops. Really cool. Now we want to create a spacer, so we chain 3. 1, 2, and 3. Now we're going to triple crochet back into that same stitch, yarning over twice, insert our hook, yarn over to pull through. Remember, you'll have 4 loops on your hook, and then you'll yarn over, pull through the first 2, you'll yarn over again, pull through the next 2, yarn over and pull through the final 2. So now you can really see how this is taking shape. It creates a nice V. So see, now we've got the first, well, we'll call this the top right now. We've got the top corner, the side corner, and the bottom corner. Don't worry, this is a little lopsided. When we attach it, it'll all come together. Okay, so this is the first stitch in our new side. We need to do 2 more triples to even out the next side. So again, yarn over twice, find your next stitch, which is right there, insert, and again, it's all about yarning over the first 2. Sorry, it's all about pulling through the first 2. You'll yarn over, pull through the second 2, pull through the last 2. So you're pulling your yarn through 3 times. Wow, that's a tongue twister. And we're going to do 1 more triple crochet into the next stitch, once, twice, 3 times. There we go. Now you can really see how that's creating a nice corner there. Okay, Wow, all of a sudden the sun really decided to come out. And sorry if there's a glare, guys. Okay. And now we're going to start decreasing the size. So we're going to do a double crochet into the very next stitch, which is right there. So we only needed to yarn over once because we're going to pull through only 2 times. So we're going to do that 2 more times. Once and twice. Okay. So now that was the 6th stitch of our new side, because remember the increase is always stitch 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, look at that. So now we've created 3 sides of our diamond. We need to do the final side. So you should have 6 stitches left. Okay, if you did the math correctly. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Perfecto. So I know that this has to be an increase, but it's going to be the smaller corner increase, not the triple. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, let me bring this down a bit, is I am going to double crochet into the next stitch. I will chain 1 for my spacer, and I will double crochet back into that same stitch. See, so that's created our next corner there. Now, coming out of a small corner, I need to start increasing up again, right? So I'm going to do 3 more double crochets, and then I will do 2 triples to lead me back up to my tall corner. So I'm going to do double crochet in the next stitch. That's 1. A double crochet in the next stitch, which is 2, double crochet in the next stitch, which is 3. That's my 3rd one. So there you go. You can see how that's kind of starting to shape up a little bit. And now a triple. Yarn over twice into the next stitch. Again, you pull through once, twice, 3 times. And our last stitch here is another triple, and pull through once, twice, 3 times. And this is actually the last time we ever really need this triple crochet if you want to increase the size of your diamond in further rounds, which we'll talk about in the next round. Now we need to cinch up our round, which is finding the top of your chain 4. So you have, whoops. So we have 1, 2, 3, and chain 4 is right there. So we're going to insert our hook into the top of the chain 4, and we're going to slip stitch. Okay, and there we've created our diamond shape. And don't worry if it's starting to curl a bit. That will work its way out. Some people actually will do, when they do the increase here, and this is just an FYI, I sometimes just do things the way I like them, obviously, but you may see other people that do, in this increase here, they might actually do 2 triples, their spacer, and 2 triples. And that's just, it helps to flatten out the diamond right away. I'm not that particular because I know I'm doing at least another 4 rows or rounds. It's going to flatten out. Like this one is flattening out quite nicely. Okay, and then especially when I attach it to all the other motifs and I block it, it'll be totally fine. Again, your personal preference. So this is the basic creation of the diamond shape, and you can just kind of flatten it out there, take your corners and stretch it out. So that is the basic diamond shape from a circle. Okay, and I know you're thinking, it's kind of not looking perfectly diamond. But as you can see, the further up you work, the more prominent the shape becomes. So I want to do the next round with you because I want to show you how, as you continue to build your diamond shape larger, you will no longer need to worry about the triples, because now that your corners have been created, it's just a matter of working into those corners in the same fashion with each row. Okay, so for the next round of our diamond, so we're going to call this the first round of the diamond because we're coming out of a circular shape. Okay, we are going to just take you over. Now, I am going to take you over into the space. I'm going to slip stitch here to really work out of that corner space, just like you would do in a granny square with the same color yarn. So now that we're in the space, we're going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. And the reason why we're doing that is because we are no longer working in triples. We're going to do the whole thing in double crochet stitches. Now, into the space of your top corner, you will now double crochet 2 times before you create a spacer. So this chain 3 counts as 1. I'm going to yarn over and insert into that space and create another double crochet. Then I will still chain 3 like I did before to create my spacer. Then I'll yarn over and back into this space. I will double crochet 2 times. Once and twice. Okay, there you go. So you can see that this corner is now building onto this one. And then I will just proceed to double crochet into each stitch across. So I don't need to worry about creating another increase. The increase is already established. Sorry, the increase in height is already established. Now I just need to keep going with my regular stitches. Now, always be careful because in a corner, this first stitch, it's easy to get it hidden by these 2 stitches you've just done. So make sure you always push that out of the way because your first stitch is right there. Okay, so always look where your post is and the top of your first stitch is there. So I'll yarn over and double crochet into that stitch. There you go. And now I'm going to do that all the way down to my next corner. 1 double crochet into each and every single stitch. Okay, I've come now to my first side corner, and I'm just going to continue, as I said before, a double crochet into each stitch. But this short corner here, or this side corner, I am going to double crochet once into that side corner. So unlike the top where I crochet twice, I'm only going to do once. But my spacer will now consist of chaining 2. Okay? And then I will double crochet once back into that space. So now it's a little bit more prominent. Okay? And now I just continue on. Remember that this first stitch sometimes is hidden, so I just make sure I find it, and I continue doing a double crochet into each and every single stitch till I get to my next corner. Okay, I'm coming up to my tall corner now. So I have just double crocheted into that last stitch, and now I'm going to double crochet twice into this space here, and then I do 1 more, and now I will chain 3. 1, 2, 3, and I'll go back into this space and double crochet 2 more times. So again, all the stitches now are double crochet stitches because we've already established our shape in the first round. And then I continue again down the side, making sure to move this out of the way so that I can find that top of that first stitch. And so now the rest is pretty straightforward. So I'm going to let you go ahead and do that. you're going to double crochet 1 into the top of each stitch. Remember, in the side corners, it's only 1 double crochet, chain 2, 1 double crochet. And then you just do a single stitch into, 1 individual double crochet to each stitch all the way around. And then we're ready to seal off round 2. And you can really see it's starting to take a nice shape. So go ahead and I'll meet you at the end. Okay, and I'm coming up to my last stitch here, which is actually that chain 4. So I just find the top there, and it's right there. Sorry guys, the sun has really decided to come out and say hello. Again, it's just a double crochet, and now I find the top of my chain 3 right here, insert my hook, and slip stitch. And there we have it. I love this shape. It's not as common as the granny square. And I think that's part of the reason why I like it so much. So I'm finishing with this color. So I'm just going to snip my yarn and fasten off here. So this is the basis of creating a diamond shape from a circle. Okay, and you can continue on. So I've gotten you started here. So once you create a circle, now again, this is a 24 stitch circle. So if you had decided to do a 3rd round circle, which in this case would have been 36 stitches, the same principles in creating your formula applies. You would have to take your 36 stitches and divide it by 4. Which I think comes out to 9 stitches on each side. Well, I have to review my math, but I think that's correct. So then you would have to do your increase in every 9th stitch. So that would be in the corner. So once you understand how to work the mechanics, the mathematics, I should say, of changing the shape of your project, you'll see actually how easy it is to do and how you can figure out to create different shapes for your projects. So I took a 24 stitch circle and turned it into, I now have 36 diamond shape, which now gave me 28 stitches at the end of the first round of the diamond. By the end of the second round of the diamond, I now have 34 stitches. And you're thinking, how does that work? Because don't forget, in this corner, I not only increased once, I did it twice, right? So that gives us, so when we have 28, this gives us an additional 3 stitches here, right? So don't forget that in each corner, I added an extra 1. So that's 28 plus 4 is 32. Then I had an additional 2 in the top and in the bottom corner, okay? So that gives us 36 and 38 stitches in total. Remember, it's as long as each side is equal, because if you're going to do this as a motif and you'll want to attach, you want to make sure your stitches are always consistent. So now in this example, I proceeded to do another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rows. The formula now, or the pattern, is exactly the same for all of these rows. So what I did in the second round of this diamond, where I did a double crochet into each stitch all the way around. So I did a double crochet all the way up. So in each corner, each tall corner, you're going to double crochet twice, chain 3, double crochet twice. All the flat sides are 1 double crochet along each side. The side corners get 1 double crochet, chain 2, 1 double crochet. A double crochet in each stitch along the side. In the tall corner, 2 double crochets, chain 3, 2 double crochets. Up along the side, 1 double crochet each. The next side corner, 1 double crochet, chain 2, 1 double crochet. A double crochet into each stitch up that side, and you should be ready to slip stitch to join. And that will be the pattern for each and every row you do. So if you want to do 10 more rows, that's exactly the same pattern you would do. And slowly your stitch count will increase. So for example, this diamond shape, I did an additional 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rows again. So at the end of each side now, I currently have 25 stitches on each side, which means I have a total of 100 stitches all the way around. Okay, so I hope this all makes sense to you and that you're excited to get started on your granny diamond shape. And if you have any questions, definitely leave me a comment in the comment box below. Or you can always email me directly at info@crochetcrafty.com. And I look forward to seeing you in the next stitch session. Make sure to subscribe so you keep up to date on all of our tutorials, and if you'd like to watch some of our stitch session interviews. In the meantime, guys, happy crocheting, and we'll see you next time.